Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show. As you saw the ending right here on SmackDown, as you saw Sami Zayn standing tall under trying to figure out how he can convince Jey Uso to to break away from the bloodline. Sami Zayn held a convincing promo tonight, like he always does, convincing Jimmy that it was Jimmy the one that was trying to help Sammy get into the bloodline. And now Jimmy does not have no regrets at all. We got a lot more as well as Rey Mysterio being confronted by Dominic, his son. Dominic keeps trying to poke the bear and keeps taunting his father. Will Rey Mysterio finally stand up to his son and put his son in his place? We'll find out coming up as well. Also, too, a lot of stories and stuff including Charlotte Flair confronting Rhea Ripley. Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley had that confrontation. We'll talk about that coming up next here on the Pro Wrestling Show. And many more stuff coming up your way as the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report. And it starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the SmackDown Ring Report on the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Diggs here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, Miss Karen. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We had a wild SmackDown tonight. We're a little late, but thanks for watching. If you're watching now or you're watching on demand, we thank you for watching. Like I said, we had a lot to get to tonight on the SmackDown Ring Report. You see all these faces here came through on SmackDown to say what they need to say tonight. Also, too, we'll talk about hot topics. Where in the world is Cameron Grimes, the former NXT North American champion Cameron Grimes? We don't know what's going on with him. We'll tell you what's going on later on. As well as the lovely Alexa Bliss. We haven't seen her since Royal Rumble, ever since she lost her chance to become Raw Women's Champion. We'll talk about that. As well as AEW's new unscripted show. I call it a reality show, you ask me. That into Sami Zayn had a docu-series that he had a vlog in terms of his journey to the Elimination Chamber. So we'll talk about that coming up right here later on in the show. So what they say, like Cody Rhodes like to say, let's get down to the nitty-gritty with the SmackDown Ring Report. On the SmackDown Ring Report tonight, SmackDown was somewhat tonight. I don't know where it was. But SmackDown kicked off with a huge banger. SmackDown, if we can show what SmackDown kicked off with, if we show what SmackDown kicked off with a huge what's that 6-man tag? Gunther. Gunther and his team. Gunther who has been a legend of sorts as of late. He was on Corey Graves Beyond the Veil a couple of weeks ago. He was on the bump this week. Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in nearly a 21st century. Gunther teamed up with his Imperial teammates Luke Kaiser and Gianni Vinci to take on the team of Braun Strowman, Madcap Moss, and Ricochet. Well, Gunther put into that match. Gunther squashed Madcap Moss to get the win after what happened last week. Madcap Moss saying that him and his girlfriend blamed the fans for him losing, and Madcap Moss suffered the same defeat last week by being defeated by Gunther last week on SmackDown when the Intercontinental Championship was on the line. during that time. Well, we know that Drew McIntyre awaits. Drew McIntyre might want a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. He's a former Intercontinental Champion. Drew would love to get his hands on Gunther. I don't know if they're going to do a triple threat match between Gunther and Sheamus and Drew for the Intercontinental Championship, but I love seeing it if that does happen. Only time will tell, but the Intercontinental Championship was that on stake. Also, too, Jimmy Uso still torn between his brother and Sammy. He wants to kill Sammy, but he having trouble with his own tag team partner and his brother, and where his brother stands, and trying to set his brother straight on what's going on. I think Jimmy Uso still trying to have that regret, like we got to fix this before we move forward, because their tag team situation, we don't know what's going on as well. Jimmy's still trying to contemplate. He called out his brother, saying that his brother he gonna call his brother out to the ring later, and we'll get to that. Even he sat down, have a counseling with Paul Heyman and his younger brother Solo Sikoa on what they think. Jimmy and still Jimmy and Jay, they kind of transforming and stuff. But Paul Heyman even said that Jimmy don't fix this, Roman Reigns will, and Roman Reigns, you don't want Roman Reigns to come out of nowhere and fix it. I think it's just prolonging and the inevitable on what's going to happen down the road. But we saw that it's changed tonight. So we'll get that a little bit later on what had happened. Also, too, Eli Drake. I mean, LA Knight. I'm so used to calling him Eli Drake. LA Knight got called out by former WWE champion Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston won a match against LA Knight. And so forth, he did. LA Knight and Kofi Kingston had their match. It was a good one. It was a good banger. LA Knight did try to get the upper hand on Kofi, but Xavier Woods in the way. I don't know. They trying to put the LA Knight to feud with the New Day. It could be a possibility, but one thing about LA Knight, he's a 5'2" player, if you ask me. But like I said, he's been around the block, and he doesn't have that far left with him. They probably got about at least about 10 more years left in him or something. But LA Knight trying to get as much as he can get. LA Knight lost lost to Ray with the hand, lost to Kofi. Kofi Kingston get the win over LA Knight. We know this is far from over between them. I'm telling you right now, it's far from over. LA Knight tried to do it, and Kofi won with the Trouble in Paradise to get the 1-2-3. So hey. Also, too, Santos Escobar, I guess he's turning babyface or something. Him and Rey Mysterio shared a moment together a couple weeks ago, exchanging masses, and they have found newfound respect for each other. Santos Escobar got confronted by Rey's son, Dominic. Dominic didn't like that, and Dominic was talking in jail slang and jail talk that, you did that, you wouldn't be respected. Like I guess they saying like drop the soap mentality or something. Well, we know that Rhea Ripley was there to confront Charlotte Flair, and they had a confrontation. Rhea Ripley confronted Charlotte after Dominic had his exchange with Charlotte, and Charlotte said Dominic talked about their generation being generational superstars, having the history together, and he's trying to say he got that Latino heat or something, and Rhea Ripley came out there nowhere, and Rhea Ripley tried to put Charlotte in her place. It was an awkward counter by Dominic to call out Charlotte. Charlotte taking it as ease, which she believes and stuff. But Charlotte Flair told Dominic, bring your mommy out here now and stuff. And we know Charlotte Flair wants to put Rhea Ripley in her place. In order to do so, she has to do what she needs to do. And that will happen at WrestleMania in nearly 30 days from now between these two women. So we'll get to see that. But interesting note, Rey Mysterio was in action against Karrion Kross. Rey Mysterio lost against Karrion Kross, and it led to a confrontation. Karrion Kross getting the win over Rey. That's what had happened a couple weeks ago. Karrion Kross won his match, but the real story was Dominic slapping and pie facing his father, and doing that to Rey, leaving Rey out. And I think Rey is torn between the two, that he don't want to put his hands on his son, but eventually it's going to get to that point that Rey's going to have to put Dominic in his place. And we know it's rumored that the WrestleMania match between these two, father versus son. Last time WrestleMania had a father versus son match was nearly almost 20 years ago when Mr. McMahon took on his son Shane. That was a father family dynamic. Shane was torn. I think Shane was the babyface and Vince was the heel. And now Rey's the babyface and now Dominic's the heel. So it's going to come to a head between them two family members fighting at WrestleMania. We've seen it with the Harts, the McMahons, and now we're going to see it with the Mysterios heading towards WrestleMania. Also, too, what else happened? The Viking Raiders was in action. I think they was in action, yeah. Yep, they was in action. The Brawling, I guess the Viking Raiders and the Brawling Brutes got unfinished business. So it's a lot that's going on as well. So hey. Also, too, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey have now formed a unique tandem. Now the two women want. They didn't say what they were going for the tag team title now, but you know it's leading towards that way. Well, we tell you this: Ronda and Shayna, as they work hard for them, as they tagged Natalya and left Natalya out of land with Tegan Knox in Natalya's corner. I know Shayna and Natalya used to be tag team champions, and that's not no more. I don't even see Nia Jax no more. What's going on with that? Guess it was a one-time deal, but we know next week it's gonna be a tag team match. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler teaming up against Natalya and Tegan Knox. Also, too, women Royal Rumble women's winner Rhea Ripley. She's gonna take on Liv Morgan, the runner-up for the Royal Rumble, next week on SmackDown. I guess this is gonna be Rhea Ripley's test to the SmackDown audience if she wins the women's championship going forward. So hey, we'll see that. Also, too, Bray Wyatt showing these characters as the Uncle Howdy and a lot more people. He's doing bits like he's backstage controller, and he even acting like Ryan Seacrest, I guess. Bray Wyatt acting like Ryan Seacrest. Bray Wyatt even trying to make fun of folks even doing this mock this world or something. You can tell that's a world background and stuff. But Bray doing some weird stuff with his news centric beliefs. So hey, who knows what Bray Wyatt is going to do? But hey, that's Bray Wyatt for you. That's Bray Wyatt for you right there. Well, it got to this. Jimmy Uso came out to say his piece, and he tried to confront you know who. He tried to confront his brother. You know, Jimmy came out there trying to call out his brother. See his brother will come out there and see him out. We know his brother's been all over the place. Even we know Paul Heyman tried to plant the seed of doubt into Jimmy and try to call out Jimmy and stuff on what was going on. I think Jimmy Uso got that the affirmation that hey, you got to do this. Roman's going to come next week. He's going to set things straight. Well, Sami Zayn came out of the crowd and confronted Jimmy and told Jimmy everything that Jimmy did for him when Sam was in the bloodline, saying that Jimmy was the one that accepted him in and welcomed him in, and now Jimmy wants to act brand new and don't want to after what had happened to the Royal Rumble, Jimmy turned his back and didn't care about Sammy. I mean, Sammy got to realize his blood is thicker than water, and then Jimmy's gonna stand by and gonna side with Roman. But Sammy said that Jimmy has a choice to make the right choice, and Jimmy wouldn't listen it. And we know Jimmy and Sammy used to joke around and stuff, but that wasn't the case. Well, Sami Zayn got pummeled by Jimmy. As you see right here, Jimmy had beat up Sammy. Once again, Jey Uso came out of nowhere. Jey was going to we don't know what Jey's agenda and what Jey gonna do. Jey wants to is torn. He don't know what he wants to do. He got discussed at Royal Rumble after what Roman had did to the whole family and stuff. Well, it kind of went down with that. Well, we know that Jey doesn't know and still kind of confused at the moment that he doesn't know what he wants to do. And so it kind of make matters even worse that Solo came out there. Solo tried to fend off, and Sammy just ran off with his life. Who can blame him? But we told you earlier that Paul Heyman had informed Jimmy, that if he couldn't get his brother to get on the same level and track, that the tribal chief will come, Roman Reigns. We told you Roman Reigns slated to return next week on SmackDown to straighten this mess out and call out Jey himself and figure out what's going on with Jey and get that confrontation, get that ball rolling, and have the bloodline united, because Jimmy Show couldn't do it tonight. Jimmy couldn't, get the job done. He should have got the job done, but hey, we know what's going on. We know that Jimmy tried his best, but it just didn't work out. And Sam is still putting a wedge, but eventually I think Jey's going to eventually help his brother. But it's just that right now, Jey trying to figure out how this is gonna play out. But I think look for this happening within the next week or two, probably the week after. It's gonna explode when Jey's gonna attack Sammy for doing what he did, and Jey's gonna be the one to say that he knew all along that Sammy was trying to infiltrate the family and trying to infiltrate the bloodline, which he kind of did in a way. All right, that does it for the SmackDown Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We're going to move forward to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we're talking about it. We're talking about this. Where in the world is Cameron Grimes? We haven't seen Cameron Grimes since November. Cameron Grimes was supposed to explode, but they said that he's done with NXT. They just waiting to see what they want to do with him. The creative team have nothing for him. So Cameron Grimes is in limbo. He's just waiting to see what they're gonna have in store for him. So who knows what's gonna happen with Cameron Grimes down the road? But like I said, they did that with LA. They did that with LA Knight. They didn't really have nothing for LA Knight. And when Triple H took control, it just gave him a fresh breath of air. Having fused with Bray Wyatt, and now he's finna feud with Kofi Kingston. So now that be going forward. Also, too, we want to wish happy birthdays to Raw commentator and After the Bell podcast host Corey Graves. He's turned 39 today. So wish him a happy birthday, as well as Shinsuke Nakamura, who turns 40 3. So Corey Graves and Shinsuke Nakamura turned their age. So turn their birthdays and stuff. So happy birthdays to them at this time. Also, too, um, Sami Zayn had that I guess Sami Zayn docu series you see right here. Tyson Kidd, one of the WWE agents, as well as Natalia, Bianca Belair, um, Madcap Moss, Becky Lynch, all watching. Get anticipation of Sami Zayn's match. So hey, Sami Zayn, how that be? Good docu series too. It was a good docu series. I'm recommending everyone see that docu series. Real good. Tell you that right now. Also, too, Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss. She has been seen since Royal Rumble. A lot of people is wondering where she's at, just like they're saying about Cameron Grimes. Alexa is took some time off, so Alexa Bliss taking some time off, so knows what going on with Alexa Bliss. Also, too, AEW going to have that docu series All Access on TBS. So AEW doing All Access, whenever that's going to come out, we'll have to wait and see on that one. So plus too, Kota Ibushi saying there is a third promotion that's in play for Kota Ibushi to sign with. I'm not allowed to say who. I can say that before there was very aggressive trying to sign him. I don't know if it was Impact or I know it got to be Impact. It got to be. Can't be nobody else. It can't be MLW nor NWA, but it got to be Impact. So let's wait and see on that one. Plus, too, we tell you this: John Cena in mere 1 week, he's going to come on Raw on the March 6th episode. He said WWE has sold an extra 2,000 tickets for the March 6th episode of Raw in Boston. All this movement being just only 2 days after John Cena was announced. So John Cena returning, moving ticket sales, moving seats. You know, once in a lifetime deal with a Hollywood star like John Cena, um, doing that thing, doing his thing, even trying to return to WWE to do the favor. Also, too, Tony Khan got Rex Observer Awards with again as Booker and Promoter of the Year. So congratulations, Tony Khan, but he got to focus on his business, which he's doing, but he needs to stop playing petty games with Ariel Wanda and leave that man alone. Let that man do what he do. Just, you want to get a star feud with him, do it on your show, and then just see how far that go. So hey, know how that be. Well, I think that's kind of does it. Like I said, we're gonna run down. We told you next week, Rhea Ripley will be on action on SmackDown. She's gonna take on Liv Morgan. This is just WrestleMania season. These two women were the final two women in the Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley won as Liv Morgan lost her opportunity. These two women meet once again next week on SmackDown, as well as Natalya. Natalya teams up with Tegan Knox under her wing to take on former SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey and her partner, former tag team champion Shayna Baszler. These two women, Ronda and Baszler, have made a unique tandem. They take down Natalya and Tegan Knox once again, like they did last week. We'll get to it. As well as Roman Reigns, the undisputed champion, returns. He's looking to confront Jey Uso to see what Jay's head at and bring the bloodline together against Sami Zayn and his miserable deeds of what he's trying to do, what Sammy's doing, trying to infiltrate the bloodline. We'll just have to get that. All right, we're gonna leave you with this. Sami Zayn trying to infiltrate and trying to break down and tear down the bloodline. As Jay is still confused, still doesn't know what he wants to do. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. Thank you for watching the SmackDown Ring Report. We'll see you this Monday for the Raw Ring Report. See you later.